Who is the greatest boxer alive today? Well, if winning a championship is hard and keeping it is even harder, then it should go without saying that defending all 4 titles defines a true champion. But if we take a look at each undisputed champ, pretty much no one defends their belts. Except for Canelo. You see, in modern boxing, becoming undisputed is the highest honor. But for some reason, defending it isn't. You'd think what Canelo is doing would solidify him as the greatest boxer on the planet. But we just saw something that suggests otherwise. Actually, we saw it twice. In fact, Canelo might not even crack the top 3. Who has the best defense in boxing? For my money, Usyk's footwork, head movement, and active hand fighting make him one of the most elusive champions today. He's managed to stay safe against heavyweights who outweigh him by more than 30 pounds. But how do you keep your browsing safe on the internet? Well, with Surfshark, the sponsor of today's video. Surfshark allows you to mask your internet activity to slip past all the malware and trackers. But a VPN like Surfshark actually does more than just security. A lot of my favorite boxers are from the UK, and if I want to catch up on British boxing, well, as an American, geolocked content means I'm out of luck. But all I have to do is route my connection through a secure Surfshark server, and I'm just as British as Ricky Hatton himself. Hey, if I want to watch the new Hatton documentary on Sky Sports, just one click through Surfshark and now I can. Conversely, if I wanted to watch the George Foreman film on Netflix, all it takes is 2 seconds and I'm American once again. With Surfshark, I can watch what I want, regardless of where I am. So if you want to watch American Netflix, British boxing documentaries, or literally any geo-blocked content from around the world, support the channel by visiting surfshark.deals/murdochboxing. And if you sign up right now using my link, you'll get an extra 4 months free. Secure your privacy and watch what you want to watch at surfshark.deals/murdochboxing. Today, winning all 4 titles to become undisputed champion is all the rage. In fact, we've crowned 8 undisputed kings in the last 3 years alone. But from 2005 to 2017, there wasn't a single fighter that unified their division. It's a title that evades even Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Perhaps the 2 greatest boxers of their generation, and they never captured this crowning achievement. So what changed? Well, back then, jumping weight classes was simply more valued. This was epitomized by Pacquiao, who won titles in a record 8 different divisions. From flyweight to junior middleweight, Pac-Man wreaked havoc. Every time he challenged a bigger, heavier man, the world watched with bated breath to see if he could do the impossible. And all 8 times he did. As for Floyd, Money Mayweather was the unequivocal face of boxing. He put on the biggest shows, fought the biggest names, and always won. What good is a random title when everyone knows you're the man to beat? Champion or not, people were paying good money to watch Floyd win, or as they hoped, lose. And if every sanctioning body is taking 3%, why give away 12% of your purse to line some executives' pockets? At a certain point, Mayweather and Pacquiao just became bigger than the belts. Floyd could have become undisputed if he fought Kell Brook in 2015. Or he could just make $32 million fighting Andre Berto. So whether it's sanctioning fees or unlucrative mandatory fights, stars of the sport quickly outgrew the belts, leading to the decade of splintered championships. There hypothetically could be up to 6 legitimate champions at once, and this is just ridiculous. But thankfully, after 12 years, things are swinging back towards undisputed. There's still a messy alphabet soup of titles, but it's beginning to consolidate. The drought finally came to an end in 2017 when Terence Crawford completely unified the light welterweight championship. And with help from the World Boxing Super Series, Alexander Usyk won the undisputed cruiserweight championship. These 2 would usher in the modern era, where Josh Taylor, Canelo Alvarez, and many more began to actively hunt undisputed status. And most importantly, this meant we were finally seeing the best fight the best, which is all we ever wanted anyway. But even with the coronation of 9 undisputed champions, it still doesn't explain why Canelo is the only one defending. Unfortunately, most undisputed champs get stripped of a title before they even get a chance to defend. Choosing a rematch over a mandatory makes the alphabet bodies very angry. But the main reason is that undisputed champions tend to be, well, great. After conquering every other world champion, there's not much reason for Inoue or Crawford to stick around. They were able to unify early in their careers, so as they get older and heavier, they simply have to move up to seek new challenges, forgoing any defenses. Conversely, Canelo is already near his upper limit, so there's hardly any more muscle to pack on his frame, not that it keeps him from trying. But if defending is more about logistics, then how do we determine the greatest boxer on the planet? After Canelo knocked out Kovalev, he was pound for pound number 1. After Inoue knocked out Fulton, he took the spot. Crawford stole the crown when he knocked out Spence, and just in May, Inoue reclaimed the throne. But of course, Alexander Usyk rightfully earned the title after toppling Tyson Fury for undisputed heavyweight supremacy. Recency bias is a plague across all sports discourse. Every one of these guys has a valid claim as the best boxer alive, but not all undisputed champions are created equally. Undisputed simply means you hold all 4 major belts in the weight class, but depending on who you beat and how many fights it took, its acclaim can be wildly variable. No one's road to undisputed is easy, but while some achieve it in one fight against lesser opposition, others are fighting multiple champions naturally bigger than them. And the higher you go in weight class, the more the challenge scales. Bantamweight to super bantamweight is only 4 pounds, but junior welterweight to welterweight is 7. More mass, more power, more consequences in the ring. Then you have a guy like Usyk, who after unifying the 200-pound division went after the heavyweights, beating up guys 20, 30, and most recently, 40 pounds heavier than him. Remember that point I made earlier about the pendulum swinging away from weight hopping and back towards undisputed status? I lied. Today, you have to do both in order to be considered great. And whether or not that's fair, it's producing some of the greatest boxing this generation has to offer. Inoue, Crawford, and Usyk are achieving greatness, and through sheer volume, Canelo is too. But if we have to rate our undisputed champions, I think something like this is pretty fair. Devin Haney and Jermaine Taylor are disputed, undisputed champions. Still, a crowning achievement no doubt, but a couple close decisions and an email belt cheapened the prestige ever so slightly. Next, we have the bona fide undisputed champions. Absolute dogs who cleared out their divisions and deserve all the praise they receive. Canelo, Charlo, Taylor, and Hopkins all beat multiple guys to become the guy. But sitting on top is the 2-time undisputed club. For Naoya Inoue, Terence Crawford, and Alexander Usyk, it's not enough to just clear out their own division, they have to punch above their weight too. The pound for pound number 1 spot is a game of musical chairs, and they are the only ones playing. But as for right now, it just has to be Usyk. After battering an undefeated, 40 pounds heavier lineal champion in Tyson Fury, he's the baddest man on the planet. Even Bud Crawford seems to agree. But the IBF has already threatened to strip Usyk if he pursues the Fury rematch. It's hard to become undisputed, but it's even harder to stay undisputed. He might not unify as many divisions as Inoue and Crawford, and he may not be able to match Canelo's defense streak. But if Usyk retired today, undefeated as the Olympic gold medalist, lineal undisputed cruiserweight world champion, and the lineal undisputed heavyweight world champion, absolutely no one would fault him. He might even enter the GOAT discussion. To prepare for the Fury bout, Usyk trained for 9 months straight, away from his family, skipping holidays, and even missing the birth of his daughter. To prepare for the Joshua rematch, Andy Ruiz did just about the opposite of how a champion should act. Check out this video to see what Usyk needs to not do to be ready for the Fury rematch.